Peace and blessings. This is Misael Bay, aka Warlock Asylum, coming at you once again with another episode of Raw Talk. And today we're discussing the difference between friends, mentors, and etc. And I decided to let me just adjust this a little bit, get on this topic because I've seen those things confused. Um, in relationships, there's always that interchange of encouragement, sometimes even of information. However, that doesn't constitute mentorship. Mentorship, in the true technicality of the term, would represent an agreement. That's what mentorship is. And it's an agreement between someone who is giving a certain knowledge, a certain expertise, a certain apprenticeship to the apprentice who's receiving that knowledge. And this is what mentorship is. It's not just because someone is loosely answering your questions, that in itself doesn't make them a mentor, but it's having a signed or a verbally acknowledged agreement that you will be working and acting as an apprentice to a certain knowledge that the mentor will bestow upon the apprentice. That could be a knowledge of cooking. It could be a knowledge of sewing or repairing a car. It's some form of knowledge that is being shared. Today, that's done virtually, and there's a lot of virtual channels for that to happen. I think people could take online courses, and that is a perfect example of mentorship, where it's a focused on learning a particular area of study. The person has said that in order to gain that knowledge as how they are teaching it, a person will make some sort of agreement to maybe pay for a course, a certain, there's a certain monetary exchange, how long the course is, answering certain questions, and is certificate involved or is it not involved? That's one form of mentorship that that the digital and the video world has opened up to people in today's times, especially during the pandemic. Other forms of mentorship could be religious mentorship, where someone agrees to guide you in an area of study, of religious study, maybe even alchemy or some other spiritual sciences. And that also too has to be agreed upon, the terms, how often that you'll meet. Those things are mentorships. However, a mentorship is not just asking someone a random question. That's not a mentorship. Um, that I think will be considered. There are certain cases where people may look to a person because they have an advanced knowledge on a particular area of study. And they may inquire of this person for advice, things of that nature. I would say that's more about eldership than it would be about mentorship. So, like when we were coming up, we say, hey, I'm going to ask one of the elders, what do they think about this? And eldership could be had by anybody who has a proficient degree of knowledge in the area that's inquired. It doesn't have to be that that person has to be of a certain age to be an elder in that community or in that sphere of knowledge. It could be martial arts knowledge. Maybe that person started martial arts at a very young age. Maybe they've, have mastered certain qualities by the time that they're 30 years old. Would they be an elder in that community? Aptly so. Reaching out to that person to ask them a question about martial arts doesn't necessarily qualify that person as being your mentor, but it would qualify them to be an elder in a certain area of study. So friendship, of course, is naturally the shared experiences that people have based on knowledge. There's a certain camaraderie that comes to terms in friendship. And friendship is a very loose connection, but it more responds off of a vibe between two people. Whereas, as far as friendship, that's friendship, sorry. But as far as like mentorship, that's an agreement where both parties have to agree to learn and a certain knowledge and a certain focus. It's an agreed arrangement so that the apprentice can gain a certain understanding. It could be in terms of religion, spirituality, auto mechanics, sewing, cooking. It's an agreed arrangement that can happen through internet. Sometimes the person who's a mentor and the apprentice or the recipient never even meet. And that's a true mentorship. That could stand as a true mentorship because it qualifies because there's an agreement between the two parties. That's a mentorship. Okay. An eldership would be, or an eldresship would be a person who may have a certain knowledge in a particular field, like a sensei. And some people may inquire of his advice. Now, that is not necessarily saying that that person is your mentor because there's no agreement. They just want some advice on the matter. So you can consider that person an elder in that community. And that's the difference between a mentor, an elder, and a friend. This is Misael Bey, aka Warlock Asylum, wishing you a pleasant day and safe travels. Thank you very much.